Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. This watch was launched in 2022, an extension of Grand Seiko's new Sport Evo design language. It is the Grand Seiko Spring Drive Chronograph GMT SBGC251. Now, this is in what they call high-intensity titanium, for all intents and purposes, the equivalent of grade 5. The watch is large, and if you have the wrist for it, this might be the one timepiece that can do just about everything. Grand Seiko is the emperor of fractional case sizes, and this is no exception. 45.3 millimeters in diameter, no more, no less. The watch is 16.2 millimeters thick and from lug tip to lug tip, 52.5 millimeters. If we include the end links, the titanium bracelet, then it's 54.7 with a 23 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see that it is a very large watch, but I could wear it if I wished to show you more of my arm. I do sort of. You could actually see that it fits just fine. Given the size of my hand, given the size of my arm, it's going to be a big look. I'd say my wrist is either the largest that cannot wear this watch or the smallest that can. So let's say, just to be safe, 17 centimeters circumference and up. Once again, my wrist is 16 centimeters. That said, we may as well bring in Sammy the scale just so we can talk about hard numbers when it comes to the weight of the watch, because in titanium and sapphire you'll find it's probably quite a bit less than you anticipated. Thank you, Sammy. The watch in detail is impressive, with maybe one exception. Grand Seiko is still using pin sleeve removable links on its titanium watches, and I feel for the price point, which is now solidly into 5 figures if you buy new, I would like to see screw here's, but here's the thing. Screws here would be great, but pin sleeves, which you can size with a block and punch, they don't strip out, screws do, and I think that's Grand Seiko's logic here. Taking a look at the link sizes themselves, you can see we have intermediate sized links on both sides in order to aid with the sizing, and then we've got several divots drilled inside the clasp so you can dismount the spring bar and change the anchoring point. Externally, we've got polish, we've got media blast, we've got satin. It's a twin trigger release. It's got a rather beefy single swing arm, closes with a snap, quite secure. Roll it all over. Here we have a crown, which is a screw-down crown, and if you take a look at the case back, you can see that this watch is water-resistant to 100 meters. We have a fascinating Evo 9 style case, a combination of creases and curves that looks very contemporary, and it is what they call high-intensity titanium, so like other titaniums, 30% lighter than stainless steel, and a little bit more scratch-resistant, too. This is the Zaratsu polish you've probably heard of, and connection with Grand Seiko watches, and it is a tin plate polishing method that requires about 3 years to master, so this is a hand-finished case. Taking a look at the chronograph pushers, Grand Seiko boasts that on this model they have been made smaller than in the past, and that may be the case. Proportionally, they look good. We still have a vertical clutch and a column wheel on this chronograph caliber, so it's a superb column wheel feel. It's very crisp. You hear it like you feel it. It's sharp. And then the vertical clutch. Take a look at the chronograph seconds hand. You can see it starts without jump or stagger, which is appropriate since it is spring drive, so there are no ticks, no tocks, no starts, no stops. And it is a gliding, mechanically driven, but quartz-timed system. So the barrel drives the hands directly, but in the midst of all that, there's a governing wheel that creates an induced electrical current, wakes up the quartz oscillator. Quartz oscillator provides feedback using a back EMF braking force to slow down that unidirectional governing wheel, which you can see right here. And so the electromagnetic force determined by the quartz timing circuit determines how fast that wheel spins and ultimately how fast the barrel discharges and drives the hands. This is a truly smooth sweep, so plus or minus 15 seconds a month, it is quite accurate. It's quartz accuracy, it's mechanical soul. We have a power reserve indicator on the dial side here. It's the 9R86, it's the GMT version, a spring drive. 3 days of power reserve. We do have hacking and then a double time system. By that I mean a true dual time with a 24-hour secondary time zone, a 12-hour local. They can be set independently. Screw the crown out now. You can see we've got stop seconds if we wish to use it. We can halt everything. You can also see how I'm able to drive the date forward or backwards. Everything else is still ticking and talking, or I suppose I should say spring driving. And I can drive the date forward or backwards depending on whether I'm traveling east or west across the international date line. We have a bidirectional rotating bezel that seems to glide on a Teflon bearing of some kind, almost like Norglide. It doesn't have a detent to it. It is incredibly slick and smooth. And then it's sapphire capped for durability and also a lustrous, almost wet aesthetic. You can see that there is a chimney or a titanium barrier between the bezel and the crystal here. We'll take a quick look. The watch is easier to view at night almost than in the day. You can see that 24-hour reference hand is blue, as is the GMT bezel, so you can quickly read the GMT bezel against that hand. Now, if you set that hand to Greenwich Mean Time, and then you use the GMT offset minus or the GMT offset plus of a destination airport, you can temporarily read 3 time zones on this dial. All right, lots to love. Like I said, this is a watch that really can do it all. Grand Seiko dial quality is co-equal with Rolex, the best in the mainstream luxury class. That's my experience after a lot of first-hand observation at close range. Grand Seiko gets there by hand assembly and decoration, whereas Rolex does it with automation. So you can see here, we have these beautifully finished hands and indices, and the hands feature polished blade-like side facets, satination over their top, and these lovely little rhodium-plated steel indices, all of this cut on diamond-tipped micrometric milling tools, then placed and caulked by hand. Looks really good. Turn it all over. We got the 9R86 automatic winding, 72-hour power reserve, column wheel, vertical clutch chronograph operation, stop second, power reserve indicator. All of this pivoting on 50 joules, and if you look very carefully, you can see the ghosted Grand Seiko logo, and proudly handmade in Japan. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. You can see the semi-instantaneous jump of the minute register too.